everybody, and welcome to Rough Stuff, Nailing It on the First Take. My name is Bridget Greenberg, and I have been put in the back middle row of every organized dance I've ever been in.
What do you mean back middle row?
Like, as hidden as possible.
Choreography.
Of like the two out of the three, that was my place. Hide.
Got it. Yeah. Okay, cool. And I am Sarah Griffith, and one time, actually one of the last bat mitzvahs I went to, at the age of 13, I was like experiencing like a true grinding moment.
Okay.
And when I turned my head to, I don't know, like I guess I was just like suddenly aware of the time and space. Mm-hmm. I turned my head, my friend's mom who was there to pick us up was like just watching me. And then immediately I was like, oh, excuse me, I gotta go. That's my ride.
I have a similar story, but as you could, we were on theme for this one. On theme. As always, on theme, on brand. Our topic this week, should we try it together?
I don't know what word you're going to say. So let's see.
Do it.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Middle school dances. Okay.
Close
almost
enough.
there. Almost there.
You elaborate.
I say middle school because frankly,
it's specific.
The bulk of my school dance, organized dance kind of culture really is in middle school because we didn't have homecoming in my school.
Yeah, we had homecoming. We had prom.
Did you have junior and senior prom or just senior prom?
No, just senior prom. Same. Those were the two dances. There were a couple dances we had in middle school, but they were never a big thing. I think more than anything for us, it was a middle school dance can be replaced with bar or bat mitzvah.
Oh, see, I feel like my middle school was actually like dance central.
We had a couple. Yeah, we had a couple, but they weren't really. It wasn't like organized school dances weren't much of a thing. There were a couple, but it was mostly like birthday parties.
Sure.
And bar and bat mitzvahs.
Sure.
But the vibes are there. It's the vibe of because there is, at a bar and bat mitzvah, there are parents, there's adult supervision for sure. Look,
yeah, it's definitely more. It's peak embarrassing is that time in middle school. Also, like in college, like neither one of us were in Greek life because I know sometimes like colleges will do like.
I did go to a formal.
I was a guest at a formal.
Yeah, I was a date.
Yeah,
at a formal,
which is really what you wanted.
I kept calling it prom to make everybody mad, and it worked.
That's so funny.
They wanted to kill me.
I went to actually, friend of the pod, Liz Minders and we were, our one friend, he got 2 dates for the night. So we were like, hell yeah. And it was one of those times in college where like everyone going to the formal was under 21, which is, let's be real, part of the reason why they were going. And then Liz and I were like 21, 22. Yeah. So we were kind of like the more cool seasoned kids. Broads of, and honestly, that was actually probably the last night that drinking with young people was fun and cool. Because all of these frat guys and all their like freshman dates or whatever, like they were all trying so hard to like be like be cool and like be subdued or whatever. But like me and Liz were just like, fuck it, we're adults, so we'll go to the bar proper and like drink on the dance floor. We don't have to go and hide in the bathroom and chug down a water bottle. Right, and
everybody had to be nice to you to get drinks.
Oh yeah, and that was the other thing too. Like I actually kind of felt people a little bit of a power dynamic. Yeah, but like no one wanted to dance. Nobody wanted to do it. And me and Liz were like, bitch, what are you paying the dues for?
Because you could drink, so you were ready to dance.
So that actually was kind. And then it was like in some random like bar in St. Louis that like I bet they do a lot of like 40th birthday parties and not like exactly like a young people cool hangout spot, whatever. So that was also where like me and Liz were like killing it.
Yeah, it felt very like VFW hall dances.
Totally. And then we also could point and laugh at everyone that was like blackout, hammered, drunk on like half a bottle of room temperature rum. You know what I mean? It's just like that was actually the last night I could drink with people under 21 and be like, this is fun.
Good times. College is you gotta
but middle school is like, oh my God, middle school, I feel like every other week there was some
organized dance.
Somebody had rented out some kind of a venue where there was a dance floor, a DJ, and parents in another room at tables.
I remember because especially growing up, like being Jewish in a Jewish community, everyone has, and being in a town where my dad also grew up since he was a kid, everybody, and being in a tight-knit Jewish community, everybody knew everyone. All your friends were your parents' friends also. It was a small circle. So yeah, a lot of your friends from school were like family friends from way back. So it was common to have, like, if not your parents there, your mom's best friend was there.
Sure thing.
Your dad's buddy was there.
I'm actually laughing because you know how, like, Bridget and I are in the same friendship party circle here. You know how there are some friends that are like, we call them rave friends because we only ever see them like when we're out. Like, they're not real people. Like, don't have their phone number.
Right,
but
they're
every
NPCs
time we go
at
out,
parties. Yeah.
Exactly. My first real taste of that was the Mitzvah circle, the Mitzvah network. It's like, you know, Karen doesn't really go to my school at all, but because she goes to Beth Yeshurun, I've seen her at every Beth Yeshurun Mitzvah.
Yeah, that was definitely a thing because I went to, before I entered, I guess, middle school. So like in grade school up until like 5th grade, I went to a different school than a lot of the people I grew up with, like at Temple and family friends. They went to the private school that my mom had not started working at yet, so I hadn't started going there yet. And yeah, I was that person that like would show up at the birthday parties, but you didn't go to school with me.
Like maybe we were distant MySpace friends.
I was way cooler in that era. The minute I transferred to the actual school, when my mom started working there and I went
the mystique was gone.
The mystique was gone. Yeah. I was like, if you knew about like, and my mom would substitute at that school before I went there. So like I would see her there and it was always like,
it's the party NPCs that when I show up are like, Sarah! All my actual friends are like, what's up?
Yeah. I felt so cool anytime I would walk onto that campus to like see my mom or whatever.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And it was like, oh, you know who Bridget is? That's cool. And then the minute everyone knew who Bridget was,
it's like, all right.
They're like, oh, this nerd who's trying to be funny, and it's almost working maybe 10% of the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
No, there was definitely the network, and then also like, frankly, like, it was still middle school. So like some people were like, oh, I actually went to elementary school with this person. So like they show up at the mitzvahs a lot.
Right.
There was like mitzvah network, mitzvah weekends too was like.
Oh yeah, when you got the back-to-backs?
Oh yes. Well, exhausting. And then I was in debate. And so this would be like, honestly, when I think back on this time, I think it's pretty natural for adults to look back on their childhood and be like, oh my God, I thought I was so mature. I thought I was so like miss shit doing this and the other thing. Honestly, my social calendar in middle school was like earnestly packed. Like even as an adult, I think I was actually kind of juggling a lot of stuff.
I was booked and busy on the bat mitzvah circuit, and then once everybody passed that age, high school became harder.
Well, theater. That's when I joined that's when you joined the theater.
You needed stuff to do.
But this was always the drama was like, so debate tournaments would be Saturdays. And sometimes, okay, so it would just be like the mitzvah. So the bar mitzvah schedule for me at least, or this was like my circle. It was like Friday night was usually some kind of a ceremony for the person doing the bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah.
Yeah.
Like Friday was like a small family, close friend ceremony thing.
Okay.
And then Saturday morning would be like, I don't know what the term is.
The service.
I was going to call it the convocation, but I don't think that's...
Convocation?
I'm using like a Catholic
They take
word.
him to jail.
Yeah. No, that's
is that a thing? Convocation?
Convocation, yeah.
Convocation.
Convocation.
Not convict.
Yeah.
Not like a vacation
I think
for
that's
convicts.
a Catholic term. It's kind of like, not your christening, confirmation.
Confirmation.
And then you like... Anyway.
It was a service, yeah.
So the Saturday morning was service, Saturday night party right? Yeah. And so... Mostly if you were Jewish, you'd go to the Saturday morning thing, Saturday night. If you were close to the person being mitzvahed, you'd go to the Saturday service. But then here's the thing. The debate schedule was this. Friday night, the debate tournament would just be like the prelim rounds for the debaters, like the true people doing debate.
Yeah.
And then Saturday from like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., that'd be the tournament.
Oh. They really kept you nerds locked up.
Yes. Oh, yes. Actually, formative years of my life were spent at a closed down high school waiting for the next round of
debates.
Of debate or
show.
Humor interp, forensics, I think is also the term. So, but this would be the drama because that's the bar mitzvah schedule, the bat mitzvah schedule.
Yeah, that's tough.
So it was
tough to reconcile.
So like this really, I wouldn't say my school had like a large Jewish population, but I honestly, like, it was a pretty decent, like, for as many Jewish kids that went to my middle school, that's how many people were on the debate team.
Okay.
And it was
you
really...
had a debate team of Jews.
And it was really cool to be on the debate team
That's
in my
actually
middle
what
school.
a group of Jews are called.
Debate team. Well, naturally there's overlap. Naturally
there's overlap for sure.
So like the big social fuck up would be like, oh, it's Rachel's bat mitzvah, but that's
debate night.
The Woodlands.
The name debate night in America.
That's the tournament. And so like that'd be the thing. If you were planning your bat mitzvah,
right,
you would have to navigate. And so sometimes it'd be a thing where it's like, well, I didn't invite any of the debate kids because I know you guys have a tournament.
Oh.
Like it was actually very mature in like,
I like that
early development of like understanding that like, one, you can't be invited to all things at the same time. Like, you know, there's going to be a venue limit, a capacity to how many middle schoolers you can
per
put.
head.
Exactly. Yeah. So that there was also like a very early understanding of that.
Yeah.
Which honestly is a skill that I didn't realize most adults don't learn when they're a kid.
Yeah. Or adults.
Oh my God. Wedding invite discourse.
Oh.
You would think people have never.
You know, I've been on both sides of it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then also that was the thing too. It's like, well, after the debate tournament, my mom is picking up, you know, me, Madison, Hope, and Jacqueline because we're all going to get ready at my house because we're going to be going to Blake's bar mitzvah that's like already in
motion, in
so
full swing.
Too, it's like sometimes like the whole debate team would show up like
squad deep,
and then like we would be the other half of the party that shows up at 9 p.m. Like honestly, like there was like the social circle of the calendar of like when do you get to the party or not?
For sure, our dilemma, my dilemma. I think because like growing up in the Jewish community, so you had more Jewish friends who went to different schools and were family friends and temple friends and friends from school. When my school was probably like 80 to 90% Jewish. So you would have like your school friends and then you'd have like a different sect of friends or family friends mitzvah on the same day. And you'd have to like figure out, you go to a service of one, a party of the other, try to double dip the party.
Thankfully, I never encountered the double book mitzvah, but every Jewish person I know, at least once,
it will come up,
had the issue of like, fuck.
Yeah. But I will, I mean, I want to backtrack to your grinding story. Grinding's tough. Grinding.
Can I tell you, in middle school, while I was doing it, I had no concept of like, I'm rubbing up against somebody's penis.
You didn't feel the concept of that?
You know what?
You didn't.
If I did, it wasn't. It did not register. It did not.
For sure.
I honestly don't think I had a concept of like. Obviously, I knew sex ed. Obviously, I knew what a boner was.
Yeah.
But I think at that time, the idea that the penis literally gets hard.
Yeah.
I don't think I had been fully.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had not encountered. I would go all of middle school not encountering a penis. So I think that just was like.
Yeah.
Like it was a concept. It was a theory at the time, but not.
Yeah. I think.
Not in practice.
Yeah, I to be fair, I don't think it fully registered for me either that was happening. I think like I knew it in the back of my head, but it was still not something I was cognizantly aware of.
I also didn't like have a middle school boy. Did you date in middle school?
No.
Kiss or anything?
No. That was some of my worst bad luck bridge times. Yeah.
No, that honestly, I mean, what I've learned about myself, and I think I've said this on every episode, I really have been a late bloomer in that way.
Yeah.
So like that wasn't even on my radar, but like I know people, I had heard stories.
Yeah. Oh, there was stuff going down in the bathrooms.
Hand jobs.
Yeah. Yeah, when
blowjobs.
I'm going off on a tangent. When I was a camp counselor and in summer camp, we would, if it was
talk about blowjobs.
There would be a rainy day movie night or a movie day if it was raining and we couldn't do anything. So we would all go into the gym and watch a movie, and people would like it was a hardwood gym floor, so you'd bring blankets and pillows and stuff to try to make yourself comfortable. And every now and again, a counselor would have to yell hand check, and everybody would have to lift their
Oh my
hands
God.
up.
Yeah.
Hand check. And on the buses that happened too. Hand checks were a thing.
You know what's funny? This is still me to this day, where we will go out, have a whole night. I will be with you guys. I'll be with you all night long. And then the next morning you might text me, did you see so-and-so? We're making out like all night long. And I'll be like, what? And you'll be like, they were next to us. I have such a bad radar for that.
Sure.
And And that started the bar and bat mitzvahs because I'd get to school on Monday and I'd hear talk. And then somebody like, you were by Wells and Madison all night long. I'm like, I didn't fucking see that.
Not looking for it. You're in your innocent world waiting for.
I still live in my.
Waiting.
I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, Sarah's still at the club waiting for to come on.
Exactly.
And it will still come on.
Exactly. You know, I recently, I do like event management, special events. I like freelance every now and then. I did get to produce a bar mitzvah recently.
Nice.
And I gotta say, it's the same.
It's the same.
It's the same.
Some
of the music is like, there was a little bit more Doja Cat.
Sure.
But they still played all of the
hits.
Bangers. And it was kind of interesting to see the kids.
We lived in peak bar mitzvah music era.
The kids didn't know like the dances to certain songs.
Oh,
you
did
know
they not know the
like,
Soldier Boy?
They didn't really know the Soldier Boy. There were some things like Get Low.
Sure.
Even though there was like unofficial choreography to that, like you got to point to the window and to the wall.
I mean, it's right in the song.
And, like there are just certain like when
Things
I
you
was
do.
going through mitzvahs, like me and my friends basically it was like the precursor to the TikTok dance. We're like,
right. It was a real like
we would have choreography for different songs.
It was a real life musical thing. That's how musicals actually what they've taken it from. Is like there were little moves. But yes, okay, grinding.
The grinding of it all.
Did you?
Yeah, so I just thought it was kind of. I mean, I guess I knew it was like sexual in nature, but like I never really thought of it as a means to an end.
It also like felt good.
Yeah, it was the feel good in the
like
I'm
for,
not sure
for
why.
women like not sure why, but like two human bodies rubbing up against each other.
Definitely the closest body to body contact I had
for sure. So this is such a cringy middle school thing that I don't know. I think I've heard other people talk about this, but some people didn't do this at their middle schools. Grind lines?
Yeah, grind train is what we call it.
Grind trains.
Yeah.
So it was like boy, girl, boy, girl.
And can I tell you, I still think that's kind of fun.
It's fun. Now
I think it's fun. Now it's fun in a cheeky way. When we did it at Sabrina's wedding, it was like
it was funny.
Cheeky. Like,
it was, you
know,
it's
we're 13
ironic.
again.
yeah. It was ironic. In middle school, it was horny. It was just angry bumping up against.
Again, and at the time I didn't have a concept for it, but like now I can appreciate like, right, this is very early days
so
where
weird.
it's like you have the instinct to touch other people, but you may not have the bravery and the fortitude to like do it yourself. Yeah. So like these like grind trains, kind of like a free for all of like, well, we're just having fun, but in reality, you're kind of like early experimenting.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I remember I was
because like you grind with everyone. Like I was grinding with girls, boy. I wasn't thinking of it.
You don't like the person. Sometimes they didn't even ask. They just come up and start grinding, and you're like, hell yeah, let's rub back and fronts.
Yeah.
But I was at this. I will never forget this. I was at a bar mitzvah. You have the adults kind of like standing at the periphery of the dance floor, like at the bar, or kind of just like hanging around, and it was a family friend, so my parents are there, and a grind line started, and my mom is like right at the edge of the dance floor, like talking to her friend, and one of my male friends, like goes in the front of the grind line, which is a weird choice, but I think because I was standing next to it, he assumed that like, oh, she'll come in with me. And my mom, I'm like 3 feet away from my mother, who is looking at me, and my friend, who I guess didn't like recognize that was my, or like wasn't looking, why would he be like, where's Bridget's mom? Is like pawing at me to try to like pull me in. He's like, no, I'm just this weird dude in the front of the grind line, and I'm like, I'm like trying to like push him away, and my mom is fully staring at me. I don't know. She for sure doesn't remember this, and I don't know if she was doing it to fuck with me, but we were like making eye contact, and I was like, wait for me.
Yeah, that's so funny because I guess because like I was also like pre-sexual in this way as well, but like I really had no concept.
I knew I didn't want to grind in front of my mother.
No. All throughout school, me and my friends were whore dancing, and it's like it doesn't really matter. But I will also say too that like
whore dancing is very funny.
Whore dancing, yeah. I will say like Houston, New Orleans, Atlanta, there is like an ass shaking culture where it is a little bit like
Miami.
It doesn't. Oh yeah, but it's like it doesn't matter if it's even if you are popping pussy with your mom, your friend, and your friend's mom on the dance floor, it's like getting on your fucking hands and knees and twerking your ass up and down. that goes beyond. That's just what you do.
That's just what you do when you're having fun. You know, in retrospect, I think if I did it and just pretended not to see my mom, like I probably would have in the moment, we would have just pretended not to see each other, and
sure,
it would have been fine. But in my that moment lives in my head of my friend just being like, and I was like, I want to go in and have fun with my friends and seem cool, and like I don't know, I was also like. Because I was also a bit of a late bloomer. I was definitely awkward. I was definitely weird. I was not someone who like people picked to dance with. Or
yeah, that's the other thing too. Part of the sexual blindness to me was that like I was just if I was anybody's choice of like sexual desire, they did not make that clear enough to me.
Same. And so I didn't think of myself that way. I don't think. Yeah, I wasn't a very sexually mature 12 or 13
ideally
year old.
No 12 or 13 year old
yeah so I also like there was a moment in my head and I like remember thinking like, well, I don't want people to think I'm not cool with it, because I feel like I had this like that I was like some sort of prude because I'm like denying my friend and no one's gonna ever ask me to be in a grind line again, but it feels so weird to do this like 3 feet away from my mother who is looking at me. And that calculation lives in my head. I think about it all the time.
You know what? Maybe this reveals a lot about me, but the grind check, whatever. I'm just dancing with my friend. I've always loved dancing. I have always been the person that's
my mom is also like, such a gossip. She would have been like, I saw you dancing with Alan.
Yeah, no. I always, having a goy mother, being a goy at a bar mitzvah also is just like free. You could do whatever and say whatever.
Sure, yeah, my mom.
Because it's like, even if it's like, well, you know, she doesn't fucking even really know what this. Like, I get the excuse, and like my mom just drops me off. There's no like, I have to stay in chaperone. This is my community. It's like, no, fuck, you know, whatever.
No. Yeah, see, my mom was not only a teacher at my school, so she knew everybody.
That is tough.
But also, it was Jews, so she knew everybody and their parents.
Every now and then, a teacher would be invited to a mitzvah, probably because like they're friends with the and that the parents' friends, whatever. When a random teacher would be involved, that's when it's like, ooh, party's over.
Yeah.
Done. Yeah. It's like seeing my boss it's like, no, you're my Monday through Friday person, not Saturday night. I'm trying to bust a grind.
I'm trying to
for me, actually, very revelatory of like my hangups with relationships. Yeah, the grind train, the dancing, the dirty dance, whatever. We're popping pussy. We're twerking ass, whatever. Mike Jones just has a new album out, so we're fucking going nuts. It was Snowball.
Oh,
the game where you
like
get
that.
paired up, the dancing, like the stereotypical hands around the boy's shoulders
slow dancing,
and his
the
hands
intimate.
That was like when I found myself in moments like that where I was like, just go through the motion, Sarah. This is totally normal and everyone is totally fine and this is cool. And I would grind on any boy. I don't give a fuck. But
it was the intimacy times.
It was the romance part of it that I was like, I think this is get me out of here.
Yeah, it was about the like 2 to 3 slow songs they would obligatorily I'm gonna have trouble with this word. Obligatorily.
There we go.
Play. Yeah, that was tough. When in the rare moments that I was picked to dance, one, I felt like the most special girl in the world.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't. You know, as cool and gorgeous as I am now.
Sure.
And confident.
Sure.
But yeah, that was hard. I was joking around with my boyfriend in the kitchen. I said, let's slow dance like middle school. And we started slow dancing and I did that thing where, and I'm sure most people did. I think my boyfriend is a maniac for this. But I was like, and I think you'll agree, you do not make eye contact.
I was thinking, I bet that sick son of a bitch was looking at you the whole time. That's crazy.
Crazy. Yeah, he is a very, I love him, emotionally intelligent boy. And he was like, no,
Bridgett, that's so disgusting.
Awful.
You and your boyfriend in your shared apartment would slow dance in your kitchen and then he would want to make it an intimate moment.
Yeah,
Get a clue. It's a bit stupid.
We were like cooking and like a stupid slow song came on like as we were listening to music. And then I was doing like middle school and he was like, no, I would try to look. Thankfully, I was like, well, he was also 4'10" in middle school. So, you know, the girl could just right over his head. But
yeah, no. Thankfully, me and the guy, there'd be some eye contact, but our eyes would kind of wander and maybe we would talk about something or whatever. But you know what's so fucked up? God. And again, very revelatory because I still kind of struggle with this. Like getting ready beforehand, looking at myself in the mirror. I would always fantasize about like that never been kissed moment of like,
what if it happens?
Kiss me. Like I'd walk in and like this would be the night. Cause I was a little self-conscious in middle school.
Sure.
Crazy
to hear. Crazy to hear, but I'll choose to believe it.
But the thing I was self-conscious about and what unfortunately kind of poisoned my brain for decades is like, I'm in the friend zone. I'm friends with all the boys.
Yeah.
They would openly talk about the girls that they liked that were pretty were in front of me.
Same.
So it made me feel like, so you don't even register.
You're outside of this. Yeah.
Because I knew this topic on the way here, I was like, dude, I bet all those guys totally had crushes on me too.
Yeah, I go back. I still have a hard time. One of them did because that was one of my first kisses.
And here's the thing though. I think the guys had like emotional and mental crushes on me. They didn't want to fuck me. Yeah. But in middle school, you're not really like prioritizing.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been a middle school boy before, but I can imagine.
You're
thinking with your dick. You're thinking with your dick.
Yeah, you're trying to rub fronts, not back and fronts.
Exactly. You can't fuck my brain.
Yeah.
You can fuck my mouth, but you can't fuck my brain. Yeah, but I just had that feeling of like, I never thought that
this is not my relationship with this person. So it's
sure. Yeah. And the thing is, I've always thought that I'm pretty. I've always been pretty. And I know that's like not attractive for a girl to know that she's pretty, but like, sorry.
Oh, see, I had a problem. I struggled with this.
Oh, I've always looked like this, so I've always known. I was flat chested, and so I mean, there were things I wasn't thrilled with my appearance, but I definitely knew when I got dolled up, I was pretty.
Yeah,
but then
I felt
it was
so
like
weird.
I'm pretty, but not in a way that the other pretty girls are pretty. So because what I've come to appreciate from that is that the other girls were all kind of basic.
Sure. You developed a personality, and that's what makes you better than them.
To this day.
To this day.
Yeah, but like I always had that fantasy of like, and not even about one particular boy or another.
Right. Oh, yeah.
It would just be some boy would see me and then would want to dance with me. And then when the times would come on like Snowball, which if you're not familiar with this game, how we would do it is like the DJ would usually be like running the show.
Yeah.
He'd be like the MC and he'd bring like, you would stand in two circles, like girls in the middle, guys on the outside. And like you'd walk in a circle and whenever you'd stop, the person you're standing across from, you would do a slow dance with.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be like, it'd be like 90 seconds.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you'd pop and switch partners.
Yeah.
But basically it was a way to like, it was kind of an icebreaker activity. I think really.
Get boys and girls dancing together or dancing at all.
Sure. And I think for a lot of people, this was like a free pass to like whatever. But for you and I, it was like a test.
Yeah. And it was, I was
and then
like,
again, I would fantasize about this moment that I would have slow dancing with a boy or whatever.
Yeah.
And then when it would be happening, I would just be I would feel like I was forcing myself. I kind of gave myself this pep talk a lot in middle school. Sarah, every other girl is doing this. This is normal. Every girl is doing this. I felt like I was performing.
Yeah.
Which maybe everyone felt that way. I'm not sure.
I imagine so. I felt so uncomfortable getting dolled up for dances and being in like, I don't know, because I was such a tomboy, I never saw myself in like these pretty girl clothes and like getting dolled up. So like when I had to do it, that already felt like a performance. So I already felt like out of my own skin. And then you made me dance, which was not an easy thing for me.
Sure.
To this day. And that's why I taught myself how to break dance. And I thought that would make me cool. And
it did.
Turns out it's why I don't see people when I go back home because someone will bring it up. It's why I don't talk to them.
I also did think, and I think movies make us feel this way. Didn't you feel that like there is a concept of being the best dancer? And if you're the best dancer, you're the coolest person.
Yeah. And I think also there's that. Yes. There's like I don't think it was best dancer for us. I think maybe that was more of your school because there was like a dance.
You know what? And actually, all of my friends, even the ones
I just wanted to be a normal dancer.
Yeah, I will say all of my friend groups, they've always been like outgoing, creative people. Like I just have for strange reason, I keep attracting these kind of people. So like even my middle school, everybody kind of wanted a piece of the action.
Sure.
Everyone wanted a little bit of the spotlight. Again, it was the Jewish middle school kids and the debate team coming together. Imagine.
Magic. Sparks flying everywhere.
Theatrical,
left and right.
Very theatrical. That's the word, theatrical.
Yeah, I just wanted to dance normally because the only thing my body would feel comfortable doing would be like very stupid jokey dancing.
Sure.
Which to this day still holds true.
And then full-blown breakdancing.
And then full-blown breaking, popping, locking, dropping, freezing, doing the worm. Just smashing my little prepubescent boobs into the ground.
Totally. Just a general question, I guess.
Yeah. Can I still do it? Yes.
Yeah. Well, no, your BMs.
Wait, BMs.
Yeah, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs.
Okay.
BMs.
I thought you were, yeah.
Your BMs.
Sure.
Something I could only appreciate being removed from the mitzvah scene.
Yeah.
Is the themed mitzvah.
Yeah. They were all themed.
I've been to one that was Saturday Night Live themed, which I think
love it.
And if you'll allow me to say this, one of the more Jewish themes I've ever experienced in my life. That a 13-year-old boy would have like the Chris Farley table.
Love it. I wish I thought of it.
That there was like MTV themed.
Yeah, Hollywood.
My friend Amelia, she actually, the first bat mitzvah I went to, she's a part of a twin, so it was a B'nai mitzvah.
B'nai, yeah.
B'nai. It was at the University of Houston, and that was kind of like Houston themed. I remember she had like athletes, like cutouts of like athletes at the time.
Sports is a classic boy theme.
Oh, that's a
that was my brother's.
That's,
sports, not even a specific sport. Sports.
I think what's that SNL bit with like the Jewish boy at Weekend Update
Oh,
reading
so
is so
good.
funny.
It's
I think there was a gag one time. That's Vanessa Bayer.
Yeah,
where she was like
Jacob the bar mitzvah boy.
Jacob the bar mitzvah boy,
so
and it's
good.
like his bar mitzvah's like themed about the Mets. I'm like that. That is so.
Yes, absolutely.
That's really
lived
good.
in.
Yeah.
Absolutely from experience.
But I also remember my Super Sweet 16 was also on.
Yes,
during our bar mitzvah days. So that also I feel like elevated.
Oh, it
like
elevated
the
a lot
for every bar mitzvah.
And I went to like schools adjacent to those schools that would do that. I don't think we had one, but there were definitely people in the private school circle that had
bar mitzvahs. I think I went to 3 like true Sweet 16 parties.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of, because I mean, you're not going to throw a party like 2 massive parties for 13
so many of my
and then 3 years later
friends were Jewish, so it's like there's absolutely zero fucking chance.
Yeah, the only ones I went to were for non-Jewish people.
I threw a dance. I myself threw a dance.
16?
I did not do a Sweet 16,
but it was
I did age? At the end. Actually, it's so funny. Like I'm this event planner or whatever, and like I've kind of always been a little bit of like I love to throw a party.
Yeah.
At the end of my 8th grade year, me and my friend Samantha, we organized.
So it was like going to high school.
It was like an after school, like
going to high school.
But like, God damn it, I found the venue. I mean, our parents put up the money. But like, I even found a venue that was like a civic park, so like it wasn't too expensive. Like I've like put together like I actually. So that was the thing. I was going to transition like regular school dances. I honestly think a reason why my middle school we had 2.
Yeah, what were your dances?
Year, maybe 3.
Were they themed? Like, was there a reason for the season?
There was. I honestly think our middle school hosted so many dances themselves because there was like a Jewish population at the school.
Sure.
And looking back on it,
you got to do something about those.
Well, I mean, if you're not in that circuit, because we also were like a Vanguard school and the non-Vanguard. Okay. And like just the way demographics broke down, like the Vanguard kids, a lot of them, we were going to the bar mitzvahs. Yeah, we're doing this. Now
explain what a Vanguard kid is.
Oh, Vanguard, it's basically like gifted and talented. This is like the class. It's a public school, but it's the classic separation.
You're using NXIVM lingo.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, and at HISD they use Vanguard, non-Vanguard. But like, I think we now have like a better appreciation of how that's like problematic.
Sure.
And how that often,
absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
It's cute. So because there was like, yes, there was the pocket of like the bar mitzvah kids and you're going, whatever. And then there was a pocket of students that like, I don't really think could ever experience something like that, like, or at least they weren't invited. So I do think it incentivized my middle school to do more school dances. So because I think it was a little bit more like
egalitarian.
All right, well, let's everyone get the opportunity, and they just be at our school, be at our fucking cafeteria.
Yeah, also everybody can be invited, like just the practicality of inviting your entire
also,
school.
Like school fundraiser. I also think like my school benefited from like having a really good PTA.
Sure, yeah.
My middle school, again, public school, but also like a sweet pocket public school where like some students that went to school had the money, the parents had the money to put into. Just one of those things. It was a great school. So we did a Valentine's dance.
Oh, cute.
I never went to those.
Yeah.
Valentine's dance. I guess we did do a homecoming game. So I don't ever remember going to a homecoming dance, but we must have done something.
In middle school?
In middle school.
For like the JV team.
You got to keep in mind, this is Texas.
So
there's level of school football is going to come with a certain pop and circumstance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, so the Valentine's Day dance. I
never went to them.
Did you?
This was drama. Can I tell you a little bit about drama?
Yeah. Did you not go because you weren't invited? Did you have to go with a partner?
So this was
just no one went
and
to
we
them?
also had a Sadie Hawkins dance one year.
Oh, I want to hear about this.
Sadie Hawkins. But I didn't go to that because there's the thing. Sadie Hawkins Valentine's dance. I've got Rebecca and Rebecca's bat mitzvah those weekends.
Oh, okay.
This is what I'm saying. I think the school put up these dances kind of as the alternative. So like
the other thing,
no student was feeling left out. Okay. Going to dances.
Gotcha. And those are probably easier to go to.
Again,
those are very
They were in the school cafeteria.
Also a Valentine's Day dance and a Sadie Hawkins dance. That's a very date-oriented dance.
Totally.
Where like, even when we went to homecoming, this was in high school, you would go with a big group. You wouldn't go as a date. Obviously, bar and bat mitzvah, you just show up with friends or parents or whatever. You show up when you show up.
But there was drama about the Valentine's dance because my 6th grade year, that was the first time they ever had one. And it was only open to 7th and 8th graders. Okay. Fair enough. We didn't complain. Okay, that makes sense. A hierarchy makes sense. Yeah. Then in 7th grade, we got a new principal.
Ooh.
And she was like, everyone's welcome to the Valentine's dance.
No fucking way.
Actually, looking back on it, I still have some anger about this. And it's not because of that. This is the anger. So I, an upstanding citizen, was like, this is not fair. And this is not right. This is not right to my whole class that couldn't go last year. And now all of a sudden, our little sisters and brothers can go. I started a petition.
Wow.
And I got like a committee of people and we wrote up petitions, printed them out. We got over 100. Like 200 signatures.
Wow, people were mad.
Our teachers were signing and even said things like, I'm glad you guys are doing this. You're right. This isn't fair. I'm glad you're speaking your mind. I'm happy to sign the petition. And now with adult eyes, I can see the adults that were signing, I think were more just like encouraging of like, good for you guys.
You're mad about something. You're doing it the right way.
And we're petitioning. Like we didn't make a big stink. We didn't cause a protest, whatever. We petitioned. We said, this should change, whatever. So all week long, we're gathering signatures and we are being encouraged to, even by teachers, 6th graders are signing the petition because even the 6th graders are starting to say, you know what, you guys are right. That isn't fair.
Oh, they were definitely intimidated.
I guess, but also like fair is fair.
Yeah.
And this was also 2000.
They probably want,
2007, 2000. Like, I mean, we're very politically involved.
Yeah.
The principal is on crosswalk duty on Friday. I show up.
Threw in front of a bus?
I wish. I show up as a 12-year-old girl with
clipboard in hand.
Genuinely. With, like, I'm not joking, at least 100 signatures, but definitely like a good amount of signatures. Yeah. And the whole school is aware of this campaign.
Yeah.
I go right up to the principal. She puts her hand up. She says, if this is about that petition about the Valentine's dance, I'm not even going to look at it. And that was the end of that. And as an adult, I look back and say, hey, principal lady, maybe you wanted to just go ahead and do whatever you wanted to do anyway. What a shitty thing to do to a young girl
just shut down,
who had mounted a campaign and had petitioned. So when the petition didn't work, we had to move to boycott. And so that first Valentine's Day dance, not many people went.
Wow.
Because I kind of got the school all riled up about how not fair it was.
Look at you, instigator, political activist.
So I never went to the Valentine's dance. Fuck the Valentine's dance.
What dances did you go to?
I don't remember going to Sadie Hawk. I went to the 8th grade. The school put on like a proper, like prom, basically, like for the 8th graders. Yeah.
Okay.
And that was really fun because our vice principal had taken breakdancing classes.
Oh,
and
we had the dean in my high school.
That rules. That is so
was a
fucking
breakdancer,
awesome.
and then when I got to high school and he started doing it, I was like, wow, this really wasn't cool.
No. I looking back, I think it's cool because we had.
I think it's cool when a teacher does it.
Yeah, we had a big, like, you know, of course, we've got the dance circle and we got to dance off, whatever. And we sent out our best dancer and he's like killing everyone, right?
Right.
And then here comes like our nerdy vice principal, like comes into the middle of the circle and it's like, oh, yeah. But dude, Mr. K, Slade. He did this. He really broke this move where he was like popping, locking, dancing. Then he like pretended to rip out the heart of the student and like pump in his hand. Oh my God, that move went crazy.
Yeah.
And thinking that's
a you got served move.
Exactly. And again, thinking about as an adult, how funny it is to be like, I'm going to fucking take this dancing just so these 13-year-olds just get their minds. They don't think I'm cool. They don't respect me. They don't like me at all. On the last day of school, I'm about to blow their fucking mind. I think that's hilarious.
Our dean did that at all of our like homecoming dances.
Oh, that's good. That's a funny bit.
Yeah, it's a good
That's good
bit.
for all ages. That's really
it's
always
good. It
play.
Brings the people together. When you're just a kid at the dance, I would advise against that in retrospect. But in my defense, at the time, the movies that were hot. Step Up.
There was definitely dance culture.
There was definitely hard. Step Up. You Got Served was a big deal.
Can I tell an embarrassing story on my mom's behalf? Because I think this was embarrassing for her, but it's just, I think you may already know this story, but at that 8th grade dance, my mom has agreed to chaperone the dance, whatever. We're still whore dancing. It doesn't matter. But there was always like discourse of what's the music that they're playing. Because also like this was like deep Houston hip hop era. I mean, this is like Atlanta and Houston had come together to release every hip hop song, and all those songs are about like fucking and sucking and fingering and whatever. So, Akon had come out, and this woman came up to my mom and was like, Debbie, can you believe this music? Are you listening to what they're playing? And my mom was like, oh yeah, but the kids, they probably don't even know exactly what even they're saying. And like, they have Napster. Like they're going to listen to it anyway. Like what, you know, she kind of gave one of those like, listen, I mean, they don't know. It's
what
like,
are you going to do?
But Debbie, listen to these lyrics. Snack that. This is a song about eating oral sex. These are middle schoolers. They shouldn't be playing that. And my mom's listening. She's like, no. It's smack that. Like smack that ass, smack that.
Better.
All on the floor, smack that. Give me some more. But this woman thought the lyrics were snack that. And Akon was talking about like sucking dick and eating pussy in his song.
That is good.
And I just want to say, hey lady, what's going on in your
brain
head? That you went from A to C on that one. Because he's very, first of all, in what world would a hip hop artist release a song called Snack That? And it's
not
about
in 2004.
Oral. No.
Not in 2004.
Smack That. And then my mom's like, I guess not any better because it is about like doggy style smacking ass. But like, they don't fucking know.
That's very funny.
Snack That. What an idiot.
It is funny. Yeah, I feel like, and maybe I feel like those songs today, I feel like maybe this is why bat mitzvah culture stayed the same, the music, at least. Because those hip hop songs, maybe I'm wrong. Now that I'm thinking about like Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B, but
I think they've gotten dirtier and definitely more explicit and to the point.
More explicit,
wet ass pussy.
Yeah,
that's in the title.
Yeah, that is true. I was gonna say it's more about drugs and sex now, but I guess maybe that's not true because now I'm thinking about.
Well, I mean, think about it. When you were that age, it didn't matter what. Even
I didn't.
And here's the other thing: nobody could tell you not to listen to that.
No,
and that's my big thing when people are like, but think about the kids. I'm like, the kids are gonna find it any way they can. No
matter what.
They are gonna find it, so you may as well embrace it.
Put that parental advisory sticker wherever you want.
That's only gonna make them listen to it more.
And it has, yeah. But I love this school dance.
They did. And I will say, when I was at Girl Scouts, we had the annual father-daughter dance.
We did one of those.
And that was a lot of fun. Because thankfully, all the dads in all of those friends, I'm still friends with all those girls to this very day. And all of our dads are still pretty good friends. And the dads were great because they're just in the back talking about dad shit. And then the girls are just kind of dancing up and down at Britney Spears.
Yeah,
like, there's
always a moment where you're like, you dance with your dad. And
they always play like the one daddy-daughter song.
They always do. And I remember going to one of those for Girl Scouts. I believe it was for Girl Scout. Yeah, it must have been. And my dad just bad, clumsy dancer. Apple doesn't fall far from
That's
the tree.
funny.
Destroyed my tiny little feet. Just constantly. It was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You are a grown ass man.
Speaking of music gone awry, I didn't go to the 5th grade daddy-daughter dance. I think I was sick actually, but the big thing on Monday was the DJ played Hot in Here.
Oh,
because that was the big song. And some parents were like,
good.
Take off all your clothes. This is the daddy-daughter dance. I'm like, I guarantee the dads didn't hear that lyric and the kids. And if we heard the lyric,
it meant nothing.
Didn't mean anything.
It was words.
It didn't mean anything.
It was just
to
words.
us.
I knew every single word.
The dads were drinking beers in the parking lot.
Yeah.
I guarantee they don't know that this song is about getting hot and fucking.
And I knew every single word to that song, and I still couldn't tell you what it meant.
Checking your reflection and telling your best friend, like, girl, I think my butt's getting big. Oh, yeah.
We're going to have to pay so much for this episode.
Whatever. It's parody.
It's parody.
Fair use.
Fair use.
Fair use.
Don't sue us, Nelly. We love you.
Did you homeschool and a homecoming dance in high school?
We had homecoming dances in high school.
we didn't have sports, so absolutely not.
We had that was high school was a big
homecoming always seemed to me kind of like the optional.
Yeah,
like prom is like, you definitely going to go to prom.
You're definitely going to, but only
homecoming kind of seemed like if your friends are going, go, and if not, like who gives a shit?
Really, only seniors went to prom.
Yeah.
And homecoming, everyone went to. Homecoming in my school was it felt like a big deal.
Can I ask a stupid question actually? Because is the homecoming dance like immediately after the homecoming game, or is it like game is Friday, dance is Saturday? Or does it depend, I guess?
So we had, because our football team was terrible and no one gave a shit, homecoming was more about the week leading up to homecoming.
Well, that's Spirit Week, I've been told. By movies and TV shows, because this was not my experience.
We just called it homecoming week. It wasn't Spirit
or homecoming week. Yeah, that
where
makes sense.
Every grade, like during breaks and stuff, you would compete in sports and little challenges.
That's fun.
Like it was always ninth, and the seniors would always win, even if it was fucking rigged.
Sure.
Because there was one year we should have won. I took the competition part of it very seriously, obviously.
Oh, yes.
So that
ask me about our season ticket sales. Oh my god.
Yeah. So that was definitely the bigger deal. And then, I guess Saturday there was a football game. Friday that I don't know when that happened. No one really cared. There was no rivalry. Our football team wasn't very good. So it wasn't.
Oh, we had our rival middle school. God, I can't think of their name now.
If there was,
there was schools, and not only because what was good, again, debate was kind of hot. Our football team rival schools were also our debate rival schools. So these were like fucking proper.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Rainier Middle School, you cocksuckers. Hamilton Middle School, burn in a fire, hog, go to hell.
Now that I'm thinking, it was probably like Dade Christian was our. This doesn't matter. But anyway, there was a football game. I don't think anyone went to it. And then there was a dance later that night. Bigger deal than the dance, of course, because it was Miami, was the after party.
Yeah.
Like homecoming was fine. You went to homecoming.
That was the pregame.
Yeah, you went to homecoming because, like, why the hell not? You got a limo with all of your friends.
The homecoming was the permission you got from your parents to leave the house because, like, oh, it's homecoming.
Leave the house, get dressed up. You have a sleepover with your friends so you can get into, everyone's
a half a water bottle of vodka. Yeah.
Yeah. So the dance was definitely like in high school. A lot of people just kind of like waiting and buying time. There was a dinner there. Like, you took some pictures. You there was like an anxiety in the air about the after party.
Sure.
The dance was definitely biding time for.
Did your school try to do one of those things where they offered like a lock-in or something? Because I've heard some schools do like, oh, well, if you guys don't drink, we'll give you a whole free extra party.
No.
Please don't do anything stupid.
I don't think so. If they did, I never heard of it.
I know some schools in my area like would do prom, and then prom would be followed by like a lock-in at a hotel somewhere.
Yeah.
And the idea basically was like keep kids from like getting drunk and getting on the road.
Yeah, if they did, it wasn't effective because I didn't know about it.
I don't know in Miami you can do that. Like there's there's no like quelling the temptation to party.
Yeah.
In Miami.
In Miami, it was easy, and like people like we went to like bars and clubs in like weird warehouses downtown. Like it was a full warehouse party.
Yeah, didn't you? Never mind. I don't know if I want to rat you out on the podcast. I don't know what the statute of limitations
is on
you getting in trouble with your parents about having a. I'm trying to mouth this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm trying to mouth this to you. I don't want to get.
You don't want to guess?
In case your parents are listening.
I'll tell them not to listen. Oh, no. Sarah just typed fake ID.
That's why I'm like, I'm sure it's fine now if your parents find out you're fake.
It would be fine. And
they may already know. I don't know.
And two, it's even more fine because know who took the picture for my fake ID?
Your mom.
My mom took my picture.
I knew somebody that was, okay. So yeah, that's fine.
So 100%.
But see how fucking real of a friend I am? Even now, in our old age, at 30. I'm like, I don't want to get you in trouble with your parents.
Yeah.
I mean, fake.
I am scared of them. I'm a grown woman. No, but the after parties were the big deal. I just remember, so you would go and you would get ready again for the after party. Like you would have your nice homecoming dress that you like went to the mall to buy with your parents, and then you would like go to Forever 21 or H&M and whatever and buy your like party slutty dress, and try to put on makeup, and that's where shit went down. Was at the homecoming after party. That's where I had my first kiss, and then my brother saw and he got mad and he told my mom, and my mom asked me if we used tongue, and my soul left my body. I've told that story before.
God, what a fucking snitch.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah. But that's where it all went down. That was the exciting part. You would drink on your bus. And
wow. You get party bus.
Yeah, we did part or limo. It was different. It was depending on the group size.
Just transportation. Yeah, I get that.
Depending.
So a sprinter for the high
sprinter,
schoolers.
Yeah. Whatever, depending on the size of the group.
God, and this was way before Uber and Lyft.
Oh yeah,
for kids these days, that's got to be fucking easy as fuck.
Transpo was tricky. The getting there and getting back was definitely tricky.
Yeah.
But yeah, the homecoming, it all stayed pretty tame because it was like a school function, and like by the end, I remember people like barely went to that and just went to the after parties because like that was where it all went down.
I guess to wrap up the school talk quickly, whenever I hear people say like, oh, it wasn't cool to go to prom in my school, so I didn't go to prom, I mean, different strokes for different folks, different personality types, whatever. Dude, you didn't go to prom? Sometimes when I hear that, I'm like, oh, but you should have at least tried. I mean, I feel like it's a
those are
rite
cowards.
of American passage. But then again, my mom skipped prom. And I do, when people say like, oh, it was cool not to go to prom, I can imagine if your school sucked and your class, like if you didn't really like your high school or whatever, and some high schools do like just.
It was
like if I went to a private Catholic school, I don't think I would ever fucking go to any of those events.
No, yeah,
seems like a bore.
I also got like accidentally involved in the prom committee.
How'd you do that?
This is like the most. I think about
you just socially awkwardly said yes until you were stuck with something.
It's like such a me tale. I'm like, oh, I really haven't changed. I guess a lot of my friends who were doing it, or like a group of my friends, I had no idea. So we were just like, I was sitting at lunch with them with my friends, and then all of a sudden, like, I'm like, oh, we're staying at lunch a little longer than we normally are, and we're all sitting there, and like everyone's gone, and I'm like, well, we're just shooting the shit. That's cool.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden, they're like, okay, here starts the meeting of the prom committee, and it was just like a table. My friends and I had been sitting with them, like waiting, and I think they were waiting for me to leave, but I didn't. So they're like, I guess Bridget's doing this now.
Now you're skipping a period of school to plan the prom.
Yeah, and I did nothing. I did absolutely nothing. I was just at that one meeting, but I was on the prom committee. It was the juniors who planned the prom for the seniors.
That makes sense.
So I was on the I had to go to prom as a junior because I was like on the committee.
I got to go to prom as a junior because I was the editor of the yearbook and I went to take photos with my friend Paige, which honestly that was a lot of fun.
We did have fun because it was like also homecoming. You always went as a group. Prom was a date thing.
Well, we didn't have homecoming, so like I had a date to prom. Like you had a date, but then you would still all go as a group.
Yeah, you would still all go as
like it wasn't like date. I mean, if you were like a serious couple, but we didn't have serious. And then also at my school, like a lot for some kids, they started with their date, and then as soon as they got to prom, they met up with their actual boyfriend because some students were out to their parents and some students were closeted.
Gotcha.
So there was also a lot of like beard prom dates.
Okay.
Like half of all dates at my school were beard dates until they could get to prom or they could meet up with their actual date.
Yeah, I was so glad that most of it was this one time I had to find a date, and I did. It was my friend's boyfriend's friend that I ended up going with, and he did not go to our school. He was older and he was hot. And
yeah,
we made out.
That's nice. Yeah, that's something My prom is a little bit more sexless if you're heterosexual, because like I've always talked about on the show, like pickings were a little bit slim. And then the ones that were available, they've been ran through by everybody else.
Sure.
So it is a little bit like, well, I'm not going to hook up with the guy that my best friend hooked up with last semester.
Yeah. It was it was tricky. I remember having a lot of anxiety about it, and then being a hot girl when the time came.
Totally. I think it's a crime. I don't know if it's still the same way, but my high school, we didn't have it was the same prom every year.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was a beautiful venue. I still to this day love where we where we always have prom, but it's like, damn, we are actually the school where the kids are creative enough to like really put together like an interesting prom. But I think maybe because we would probably take it too far. Yeah. Smart on the school to be like, you know what, you guys fucking do your shit at the
theme
school.
Of prom is prom.
You guys get all your creative energy out at school. And when it comes to like the actual things that money is involved in,
everyone just chill.
It's a uniform.
Yeah, our theme was I don't think we had a theme. I think it was just prom. And I think it was, I don't know what they were planning. Now that I'm thinking, I don't know what we were planning. We were just like, everybody goes to the same venue we go to every year. And
the theme was just prom and dance.
Yeah. So those middle school dances were a lot more eventful than anything that happened in high school. Except for the after parties, because
I will say, and we are blessed. We are blessed because I know for many people, middle school was like a socially desert time. It is really difficult.
Oh, yeah.
And so that we had these like mitzvahs.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, by the time I mentioned this at the top, by the time I got to high school and had to start filling my own calendar. Yeah. It got harder.
Actually, being a part of like some kind of a religious group was kind of hot in middle school because that's also, at least for the Methodists, we get confirmed the same age as like Jewish people get mitzvahed. And again, disclaimer, my church is regular and not homophobic and bigoted, and it's not like a crazy weird church. I know Christian in Texas is scary, but
Sarah's a Scientologist.
I'm not that, please. But if it like basically like if you didn't have some kind of a pre-organized social setting, like a club, a religious thing, you know, a carpool, like it is kind of hard to socialize in middle school. And actually going to these mitzvahs, I feel like really was my first like get out there, learn how to socialize, learn how to be a part. Because even in college, like going out for the first time and seeing all my friends, like college friends, like take it too far, like not know how to act in public. Yeah. I was like, honey, you need to have gone to like 3 or 4 bar mitzvahs because you got to know this is not how we act on the dance floor.
It was a safe place.
Dance floor etiquette is what you really learn at the mitzvahs because that is an art. Yeah. That is an art.
Yeah. Where to stand, how not to be in the way, how to dance.
How to take up like your space.
How to dance with friends in a circle, but not in an insane way.
Let me tell you something. Adults, especially on the west side of LA, to this day struggle with that like spatial reasoning. Yeah, it's true. It's a safe place to be embarrassing, I guess, which is really, really a nice, cushy place for a young Bridgett and a young Sarah. Yeah, totally. And I think for a lot of... And God bless. Thank you to middle school dances. You provided a lot of horror, but a lot of growing up. A lot of horror dancing. A lot of horror dancing. A lot of things I think about to this day. But you know what? Something I still have to this day. Every time I get ready for a night out, I still have that moment in the mirror where I'm like, this is the night. Like, this is going to be magical. It's going to be a big night for you. I'm going to be seen. And then as soon as I have this vision of me walking in somewhere like quietly. Yeah. That's never going to happen. That is never. Unless I'm going to a funeral. Yeah, I will never enter any party or hooting and hollering is a way to make an entrance every single time. Shooting guns. Yeah, like Yosemite Sam. That's I say. Yeah, put on some ass shaker music, boy. Play Get Lou. Dancing. We should revive the Bridgett and Sarah party planning committee. Oh, you know, this is a fun party idea that some people do when they turn 30 is they have like another. Too late for us? Actually, no. I know someone that when they turned 33, they had another bat mitzvah.
Oh, 20 years
and it's
later.
like 20 years after the first bat mitzvah. It's another bat mitzvah.
One day,
I thought that was really fun.
One day we will release video clips from my bat mitzvah DVD, which is certainly floating around my parents' house somewhere.
Dying to see it.
Yeah, one day. Yeah, I have always wanted to throw a party where we play that in the back, bat mitzvah DVDs in the background.
Maybe that could be like a new patron goal. Like if Small Beans reaches a certain amount.
We'll release.
Bridgett, I will also put up some home videos of my own.
Yeah, we'll release the like Temple Emmanuel cut.
My God. That's a patron goal. Speaking of the Patreon, if you're listening to this, you might already be a patron. Thank you.
Clean.
Thank you so much. Yeah, see how that transition? Bam.
Beautiful.
After 3 years of actually, it's been more than, it's like 5 years of podcasting.
It's been 30 years of podcasting.
30 years of podcasting. Never gotten better. Hasn't gotten worse.
But never.
But yeah, thanks everyone for listening. If you are a member of our patron, thank you. If you are not, check out the page. You might think, I really can't afford it. But there might be a tier that like, hey, and I know maybe like Abe and Sway won't love if I say this. Even if you're just like for like 3 months, like give it a go, see how that feels.
Go.
No pressure, of course. You can still enjoy all these episodes for free. We're happy to do it. But if you're a member of the patron, we
get them early.
We read the comments. That's kind of the big benefit.
Yeah.
And you guys know that you influence Shooting Threes a lot. So you can also have equal influence on this show as well.
Yeah, give us what do you want to hear us talk about? We want to hear it.
Please, we have no ideas, so tell us what to do, really.
Blank slates over here.
So that's the Small Beans. Also great shows on there. You can find me at Instagram, I guess, at Sarah Griffith. I'm also on TikTok at SK_Griffith. That's mostly like my outlet to talk about baseball, but just in case. And shout out, there are like 2 or 3 people that are on my TikTok live. Every Friday, I go live 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern to play trivia and just talk about anything. A few people on those lives are also listeners of the podcast.
When you told me this, I was so excited.
I am blown away. And actually, I was so thrilled. I got a comment on a TikTok that was like, I thought I recognized your voice. You do the Cast and the Curious. And I was like, oh my God, wow.
That's cool.
This is such a big internet. And we take up such a little part of the big internet. So
it's
the
really
fact
exciting.
that they overlap is amazing. So if you are those people, thank you. You make my fucking day with that.
Yeah.
I cannot believe you guys actually give a shit. So check me out there, I suppose. And then Bridgett is also online.
Occasionally online.
I'm terminally online. Bridgett's more like a day pass.
A day pass. You can follow me on Twitter at Bridgett Tweets or Instagram at Bridgett_Greenberg. You can follow our pages at Rough Stuff Pod. And you'll see what we're up to there. There's some good stuff coming up.
Because Bridgett and I are also writing a series called New Low, and that's going to be on Instagram at Bad Collab Prod. Yeah. Just stay tuned for that, everyone.
That will come out.
It's gonna be really good. If you like this show and New Low are like the same vein of comedy exactly. So stay tuned for that one.
Yeah. And thank you as always so much for listening.
Cheers, you guys.
Bye. We're gonna go grind.